Hi. What we're going to do today is we're going to simulate downloading transactions from your bank. And I've created some sample data that we're going to use to do this. I have a table called Transactions at Bank, which has almost 2,100 rows in it of sample data. 21 records that have sample data that I've created. We've got account number, post date, check, description, debit, credit, status, balance. Notice the debit is a negative, means that money is taken out, and credit means money was put in. The other 4 files we have here represent downloads from your bank, and we'll be using these files to work with here today, these 4. Okay, let's just start off from the beginning here. What I'm going to do is I want to convert the bank data to something that I like a little more. I'm going to create an ID field. I'll be auto-incrementing that later to number each transaction row. Now the account number field with that space, I don't like the space. So I'm just going to rename it without the space. And I'm going to give that a width of 20 characters in the final file. And let's see, the post date, we'll rename that as date. Let's say the type equals date. And the check, I'm not going to rename that, but I am going to give it a width of, let's say, 40 should be fine. More than fine. Description, let's give that a width equal to 100. Hopefully that's good enough. Now, the debit and credit. I'm going to have to use an expression here because I want to combine these into one column. If it's a debit, then I'll be a negative number, and if it's a credit, be a positive number. And that's just my personal preference. You don't have to do that. I'm going to say the value of debit is greater than 0. The reason I have to wrap value around the field debit is because at this point in time it's just a CSV data and it has no data types. It's just text data. So if the debit column has a number in it, basically we're going to take -1 times debit. Otherwise, we're going to use what's in the field called credit. And we're going to name that field amount. And we're going to give that a type equals to currency. Okay, I kind of like my lines to look right here, so I'm going to drag that out a little more. And let's see, we're going to skip the balance, the status field. We'll go ahead and pull the balance in. Give that a type equals currency as well. Now, from, let's go ahead and just copy that whole table name. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this query as new transactions. Let's go ahead and run that and see what we got. Okay, we got an ID field, account number, date, check, description, amounts, positive and negative numbers, and a balance. Alright, looks good to me. 209 rows. Okay, we'll be using this query later, by the way. Now, these are comment marks. I'm going to go ahead and add a little query in here. Select ID. Now this is the auto increment option. That's true. And account number and date and check and description and let's do the amount and balance. I'm going to select that into a new file. The first file is real easy. Every single row goes in. So we're just going to select the whole thing into it. And we're going to call our master file at home. I'm going to call that transactions at home. Okay, and that's going to be from, I'm going to take it from the query that we just created. New transactions. Okay, now in order to get this to run inside comment marks, I'm going to highlight it. Okay, now transactions at home, there's our data, and we can see we've got it populated with the auto increment values are in there, so that's good. Now I'm just going to write now just a little simple query that pulls up our transactions at home data. The reason I'm going to do this is because I like to see the data upside down and put the most recent transactions on the top row. So I'm just going to write that real quick. Select all from transactions at home, order by date descending, comma, amount. Okay, now it's upside down. Our most recent transaction is on January 26, 2011. Okay, now comes the hard part. Importing new stuff. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our new file here. I'm going to copy that. And we're going to go modify this query a little bit and have it point to our new file or our second file. And then when we run this query, it's going to rewrite the query called new transactions, and it's actually going to be our new transactions. You can see it goes from January 2nd through February 26th, so it has a little bit of overlap with what's already there and some new at the same time. So let's go to our import new, and we're gonna start this out simple, and it's going to get a little more complicated, but when it's done, and it works great. Select all from new transactions. Okay, now the new transactions file, I had to add some code and rewrite the software a little bit to make this work. I had to add a special option called friendly fire. I'm going to set that equal to false. What that means is that this table does not dedupe itself. It doesn't. One transaction row will not kill another transaction row from the same table. And we need that because of the possibility of, on the same day, someone makes withdraw a transaction amount which is the same amount on the same day. That'll look like a dupe, but it's actually a scenario that we want in the final file. We don't want that to be removed. So with the friendly fire option, and I got this from gaming, it means that you can't kill your own teammates. So when it's set to false. So these transactions on its own file cannot kill each other. So the other table, put that down there, put that down there, is going to be transactions at home. Okay, now the transactions at home table is going to be a suppression file in this dedupe. To make it a suppression file, set the priority of the file equal to 0. That means that if there's any matches on our new transactions, they're going to get yanked out. At the same time, I have another option that I've made called bullets. The default is infinity, and if you set the bullets equal to 1, that will mean that one row in the suppression file can only knock out one row in the new transactions file. Again, that's to alleviate the problem of taking out rows on the same date, same amount that we don't want them removed. So I'm going to declare the dedupe on date, comma amount, and this isn't the finished product. We're going to go ahead and run this, and just so we can kind of look at what we got here. When the dedupe runs, it generates 3 tabs, 3 sets of results: uniques, matches, and suppression data. What we're going to be interested in is the uniques. There's uniques, matches, and suppression. The uniques represents the new data that is unique, and it's data that's not in our transactions at home file. The matches represents what got pulled out, is getting pulled out, and the suppression tab shows essentially the entire suppression file falls into the suppression tab, all 209 records. So this is our file transactions at home. So let's go ahead and clear all that. To make this work the way we want it to work, we have to make that kind of an inner query with the parent query wrapping around it. And we're going to be doing insert into the transactions at home table, and we're going to be selecting a list of fields from some data. And the data is going to be what's inside here. Now we only want the tab called uniques, so we're going to do this. That will give us only the uniques tab. Alright, so I am going to copy our list of fields here that we typed in previously. I'm going to paste them in there. That has our auto increment equals true offset. We're going to insert new rows into that table, those fields from that data. And let's execute that. These queries run a lot faster without this video software running. Okay, the hourglass stopped. That means that it did what he told it to do, it just didn't give us the results down below. We can look at our transactions at home, which used to have 209 rows in it, and now it has 225 rows, and we can see that we go all the way to January 26th. I could do the other files, just keep the video short. You can see that whenever you change your input file here, And well, let's do one more. Let's do 0415. Once this is set up, it's actually pretty easy to run. You run that, or you set that, you got to run this query to regenerate the new transactions query. And you can see there's some overlap. It's going from February 14th well up into, looks like April. So there's a lot of transactions in this file. Let's see, there's 33. Okay, then you go here to import new, and you literally don't have to type anything new in here at this point. It's just ready to go. You run it. And it says it's done. And we're going to go ahead and pull up our master file. And we see that we have 251 rows, and we have all of our new rows at the top. So there you go, importing bank data into your master table at home. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope it's useful for you. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching.